Hi, everyone, and thank you for being here today. Today really is an important day as we announce the next step in our government's plan to support Canadians through this pandemic. As the Prime Minister said several weeks ago, our plan includes a seamless transition to EI, coupled with the creation of new benefits to ensure that no Canadian worker is left behind. Notre objectif pendant cette transition entre l'urgence et la reprise est d'apporter aux travailleurs
to give
canadiens
Canadian workers the certainty and comfort they can count on over the longer term. Regardless of the recovery step or phase in which their community is currently in, we will leave no one behind.
We also recognize that there continues to be an ongoing public health crisis in our country, and we need to prepare for other possible economic shutdowns due to outbreaks or future COVID-19 waves. Not all regions across the country or sectors are reopening at the same time, and this has had a direct impact on our businesses, on the availability of work, and on people's jobs. The reopening of daycares and back-to-school plans also vary significantly across the country, and parents are worried about both the health and safety of their kids, as well as their own availability for work. There's no denying that the Canada Emergency Response Benefit has helped millions of Canadians. Canadians have confidence in this program. It's been a lifeline for many people and has been monumental in our country's efforts to slow the spread of the virus, keeping Canadians safe and supporting our economy. To provide certainty and continuity, we are announcing today that Canadians will have access to an additional 4 weeks of CERB for a total of 28 weeks. For Canadian families who rely on the CERB, this means that they'll be supported as they figure out what's happening with school and daycare for their kids in the fall. I'll now share with you the details of our transition from the CERB to EI, which will come into effect on September 27th. To begin, because of the impact of COVID-19 and because of the impact it had on the job market, we recently set a minimum national unemployment rate of 13.1% to standardize access to EI regular benefits across the country. This set the eligibility criteria for EI regular benefits at the lowest entry threshold possible. But even doing this, we know many Canadian workers will still not have the hours required to be eligible for EI. That's why we're announcing today a one-time top-up of insurable hours to Canadians applying for EI regular and special benefits. Canadians accessing regular benefits for job loss will receive a credit of 300 hours, and Canadians accessing special benefits, including sickness, maternity, and parental benefits, will receive a credit of 480 hours. This means that millions of Canadians will only need 120 hours to access any EI benefit. I want to highlight the importance of these changes for expectant and new parents, mothers in particular. Many parents have not been able to accumulate the work hours necessary to claim EI maternity or parental benefits. With this one-time credit of 480 insurable hours, parents will have access to these benefits. And we're making this credit retroactive so that parents can claim these benefits starting March 15th, 2020. This one change alone will make a big difference in the lives of many Canadians. Depuis le premier jour,
Since day one, our government has committed to treating all workers fairly. And our approach to economic recovery is no different. We know that despite the measures that I just spoke about, there will still be Canadians who will not have enough working hours to be admissible for employment insurance or who do not fall under the employment insurance regime, like self-employed individuals or those working in the gig economy.
three new benefits. First, the Canada Recovery Benefit for self-employed workers and workers not eligible for EI in the amount of $400 per week. Second, the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit for eligible Canadians who are unable to work because they need to provide care or support for a child, family member, or dependent in the amount of $500 per week. And third, the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit for workers who are unable to work because they are sick or have to self-isolate for reasons related to COVID-19 in the amount of $500 per week. Both the recovery benefit and the caregiving benefit will be available for up to 26 weeks over a 1 year period, and the sickness benefit will be available for 2 one-week periods over the year. We intend to introduce legislation in the first week of our return to Parliament to create these benefits and ensure that Canadians have the financial support they need. For the millions of Canadian workers who will have access to EI because of these changes, we want to assure you that there'll be equity between the EI program and the recovery benefits. We'll be establishing a minimum EI benefit amount of $400 per week to ensure that no one on EI is receiving less than someone receiving the recovery benefit. En étant de la système.
When you're in the employment insurance system, you will have access to training opportunities, work incentives, and the opportunity to work while under claim.
For Canadian workers receiving the recovery benefit, we will work to ensure that you too have access to training, and we'll introduce a modified working while on claim approach to earned income while on the benefit. Nous savons que les Canadiens.
We know that Canadians are eager to return to work. Already, over 4.1 million CERB beneficiaries have returned to the workforce, and we expect there to be even more people in the coming months. We will continue to be there for all Canadian workers.
With the additional weeks of CERB, the transition to EI, the uniform unemployment rate and credit of insurable hours, and the creation of 3 new recovery benefits, we're doing our very best to support all Canadian workers and leave no one behind. Thank you very much. Madame?